When customer experience tech goes wrong, it can go very wrong. Let's talk about 5 ways technology can go wrong and what you can do to mitigate those risks. Technology is all around us today, and we love it. AI, natural language, robots, we love it all. And that stuff used to be business to business, but now consumers are in the game. We've got OpenAI products, we've got all the derivatives, and we've got our robot vacuums. And when technology works, it works great. But when technology goes wrong, it can be the reason why customers walk away, users don't adopt, or they just completely lose trust in your product, delete it from their phones, and never talk about your company again. And you don't want that. So what are the 5 things you need to know about? How can they go wrong? And what can you do to mitigate that risk? Let's talk about that on Project Skills Mentor. The first one is data privacy, compliance, and protection. You want to protect your users' information. That is a sacred trust between company and user. It's important whether they are a paying customer or a third-party customer. So what to watch for? Non-compliance. Failure to adhere to data privacy regulations in small ways and in big ways can be the first crack in your data privacy and protection containment policy. You need to be transparent about when things do go wrong and make sure people know what you're doing to make sure that they don't go wrong. What's the impact? Legal consequences. You can be sued for this, but also regulatory and reputation damage, both from a governmental regulatory perspective, but also from your consumer confidence. Once lost, that trust is seldom regained. And let's talk about when that goes wrong. Yahoo suffered a major breach. That major breach showed vulnerabilities in their entire process of both how they managed data, but also how they communicated the issues. Their reputation was damaged for good. I mean, really, does anybody use Yahoo anymore? So how to mitigate the issues? Obtain informed consent. If you're collecting data, you need to obtain informed consent. And if you're in the EU, you already see that informed consent when you can reject or select certain kinds of data privacy rules when you're on a website. Implement robust security measures. Make sure you employ encryption, firewalls, regular security audits. Everyone at the company should understand and be trained on basic compliance. And of course, people who are actually handling that data need to have rigorous training, audits, and follow-up. Ethical use of AI. When AI organizations are creating technologies for customer use that are not aligned with moral values, don't respect human rights, or are biased, they create false data or narratives, causing government and social organizations to question the use of this AI. So what do you watch for? Algorithms that are trained on data that leads to unfair treatment and derogatory statement. Lack of accountability. Autonomous AI systems are used by humans everywhere. This means that all of those people can be impacted by these biased, derogatory, or false narratives. And what's the impact? Unfair treatment. Biased AI systems perpetuate false narratives and prejudice in the world. It damages the reputation of the brand. So what can go wrong? When the first release of OpenAI's chatbot came out, it was clear that it was very biased in many of its statements, even giving incorrect information and creating a false narrative about certain groups and perspectives. This kind of blind spot that was created showed that they had not done widespread testing and they had not done diversity checking to make sure that misogynistic and other kinds of narratives weren't actually implicit in their toolset. How to mitigate issues and create a more ethical AI? Make sure you have diverse and inclusive data. If you're training with good data, if you're testing with good data, then you'll be able to make sure that the data represents what is true and accurate. And I think OpenAI has done a better job at that. Regular auditing. You want the AI system to self-audit, but you also need to do manual audits to make sure when something's flagged, root causes are taken care of. Also, you want to establish ethical guidelines. What does ethical look like? What does a false narrative look like? So you can both create the AI flags, but also the manual flags and processes. By far, the greatest danger of artificial intelligence is that people conclude too early that they understand it. And that is the issue facing us with ethical AI today. Deep detection, high-resolution interfaces, and image recognition are advanced technology that allows businesses to gather data about customers' preferences and behaviors. It's used in situations where robots need spatial information or cars, automated cars, need information about what's on the road. So what to watch for? Invasion of privacy. This kind of deep detection can go too far. And of course, data breaches. The more data you collect, if you don't control it, the more possibilities you have for hacking and data breaches. And what's the impact? So when customers don't understand your product or rely too heavily on it, it can create a problem. Legal issues, lawsuits, and again, loss of face by the company. Mishandling of tools and information can be a customer failure, but it starts with a failure for the organization to inform the customer properly. What can go wrong? Well, when Tesla trailblazed their autonomous driving, it's been reported that there's been many accidents. You might have heard about how these self-driving cars in San Francisco were taken off the road. These incidents show the limitations and boundaries of the current technology, but even in semi-autonomous driving, customers have too much reliance on the technology. They are not well trained, they are not well informed. Maybe they don't want to be, but the company's job is to make sure customers are well informed. So how to address these issues? Educate the consumers, provide them with the information they need to know about what works, what doesn't, and where the limitations of the current technology boundaries are. Implement privacy by design. If you access the data, make sure you're only recording that information that's most important and making sure it is locked down tight. Voice and natural language. Customers love voice recognition. Voice and natural language technologies enable customers to interact with systems using spoken language, enhancing the CX experience. What to watch for? Voice recognition systems may misinterpret customer commands, leading to incorrect actions or frustrated customers. Language barriers are another issue. Language limitations can hinder effective communication, especially for non-native speakers or people with heavy accents. So what can go wrong? Amazon's Alexa is widely popular and a great tool. However, it faced criticism for misunderstanding user comments and providing incorrect responses. Users have reported instances where Alexa misinterpreted requests, failed to understand accents or dialects, and provided inaccurate information. This issue highlights the complexities of natural language processing. How to mitigate? Continuous improvement, getting a lot of diversity into the training programs. Supporting multiple languages and regional dialects helps you cater to a diversity of customers, helps you broaden your customer base. Adopting the right solution at the right time. What's the right solution? What's the right time? Well, we all understand that technology's time has definitely come, but not all technology's time has come, especially when facing the consumer market. There's an optimal moment when the consumer is ready to accept the product, and there's also a time when the product is ready to be let loose into a consumer market. What to watch for? Management needs to be willing to consider new market disruptors and change at scale. That's the timing part. And what's the impact? Loss of competitiveness. If you're not innovating, you can lose your competitive edge. And if you're not following up on the quality side of things, you could lose your customer satisfaction, because a great product with a lot of bugs in it is not a great product. And customers are going to realize that really quickly. So what can go wrong? Apple's iPhone has been a game changer in the world. However, have you ever seen a photograph comparing Apple and Samsung? Let's face it, they have lost the race on this one, at least for now. So how could they have mitigated this? Understanding a comprehensive needs assessment and evaluating multiple solutions to implement updates quickly, but also with quality. Companies need to do pilot testing to identify potential issues and challenges that need adjustment before it goes out to the broader market. If you're ready for your MVP, your minimum viable product, and aren't ready for your next version, your version 1, your version 2, then you are not ready to release. Failure could be something as simple as not innovative enough after the first release. The fact is, AI will branch out in various directions. Being adaptive will be key to who wins. So if your project's all about customer experience, make sure you're thinking about these things as you move forward. I hope you found this information valuable. If you like this video, check out 2024's CX trends, and I'll see you next time on ProjectSkillsMentor.com. Bye-bye, everybody.